This light is insanely like blinding. But is her skin snatched or not? Get into it. Ladies, gentlemen, select gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. And yes, that's a new headboard. How cute is she? I mean, my nightstand blocks my door, but who needs to leave this room anyways? Last name may not be Jefferson, but we are moving on up. Anyways, as you guys can tell by the title, this video is all about how I told my parents that I am transgender. Which actually is kind of like clickbait because I didn't necessarily exactly tell them. Regardless, coming out to your family, much less your parents, isn't really like the easiest thing to do. P.S. I don't know if I still agree with using coming out as a term used in the transgender community. It never really kind of like sat well with me. But what else are we gonna use? But yeah, there really is no easy way or time to tell your parents, I'm not the gender you thought you gave birth to. I know the cute little card from the hospital said like it's a boy, but like, I had my own plans. And with that being said, your family knowing who you truly are and how you truly feel, or rather who you've been and how you've always felt, is a big step. And I wish that I could tell you guys that mine was this like momentous occasion, like everything else has been up until this point, but it was really super like anticlimactic. As anticlimactic as it was, it actually opened the door to make me feel more comfortable living my life full-time as a woman. So basically it was 2009 in my latter half of senior year. Are you getting into my adult terminology? Latter half. Latter half. And I had already been slowly kind of transitioning, and I was presenting as female when I would go to school or to the clubs because I was 18 and poppin'. But I wasn't really comfortable telling my family yet because that was going to be the hardest thing because I grew up with them. They know me inside and out. Well, did they really? Because they didn't know I was a woman, apparently. Or did they? At the time, my parents would come home later than I would. So once I would get home from school, I would go into my room, take off all the makeup, and then change back into my boy clothes. Just so that I could go, like, undetected. But now I'm starting to wonder how I even got it past my brother, because he was home like the whole time. Watched a lot of Charlie's Angels back in my day. But one fateful day in school, I had a minimum day, and so Samantha and I decided we were gonna get lunch, and we were gonna go get sushi, because she had her license and her parents' car till about 3 o'clock when we were still supposed to be at school, and we were just gonna go get some lunch. And I decided, like, hey, it's an early day. I don't have to be out of, you know, my female-ness anytime soon because I wasn't in a rush, and obviously I wanted to optimize, adult terminology again, and maximize my time as a woman. But by the time Samantha and I were like finally finished with lunch and she had dropped me back off at my house, it was still pretty early and my parents weren't going to be home for a while and nobody was home. Where the heck was my brother? I'm like really wondering where my brother was this whole time. So since nobody was home and I still had a while till my parents were gonna be back, and like I said, I wasn't ready to get out of my femininity. I decided to just like chill in my clothes because that's where I felt most comfortable, was in some tight skinny jeans and a shirt that was way too small for me. My 2 clip-on synthetic tracks that were so thin so it only made it look like I had 2 extra inches of string. And my bra with my 2 pads inside. Vintage classic Cassandra. Kinda miss that bitch. But I decided to just, you know, hang out for a little bit and, you know, not change till the very last second that I possibly could. So I turned on the TV, watched a movie, and my dumbass, like, fell asleep. And I knocked out, because if you guys know me, like, I'm that girl. Like, I fall asleep on every movie, damn near. Next thing you know, I hear the key in the lock, and I hear the door unlock, and it's opening, and I wake up with the quickness. And at the time, the specific house that me and my family were living in the specific house that me and my family were living in, there was no way to get from the living room where I was to my room without crossing paths with my parents, because they were coming in through the entrance. And then there's like the family room, I guess, where, you know, your parents put all the nice things that no one is ever supposed to hang out in. And you had to go through that family room to get to the hallway to get to my room, essentially. And if I were to go through that threshold, they would have seen me regardless. So I was like, there's no way out. Like, it's now or never, bitch. All the while, mind you, I had just woken up, so like my mind is still technically asleep. And I was still trying to think really fast, but there was no way. And there was no way I was gonna... Wait, now that I think about it, I could have just ran through the sliding door and ran around to the side and went through maybe the garage and went back into my room and damn. Either way, regardless, I didn't think that fast, and I was sitting on the couch just frozen, and my parents walk in with the groceries, because they had just gotten back, obviously, from grocery shopping. And my mom looks at me, my stepdad follows, and he looks at me too, and they just set the groceries down on the counter. And I kid you not, the only thing my mom said was, "Your pad is coming out of your bra." I was like, oh, and I push it back into my bra. And then my dad's like, "Are you gonna come help us with groceries or not?" And I'm like, yeah. In hindsight, I kind of just feel like their reaction was very like lackluster because of all the crazy things I've done up until that point. They probably weren't even shocked or shook or shooketh to the third power. As for my real dad, my dad just said that he felt so relieved because he grew up buying me dolls, and he knew how much I always wanted to dress up as a girl on Halloween, and how much I hated being dressed in like tuxes or anything. And he said that he had wished that I didn't have to go through that growing up, that he wished I would have just been born the way I wished I was born. I used the word wish 2 million times in 1 second. But that he was finally happy that I could be who I am and didn't have to go through hiding anything anymore. I was so incredibly relieved because I had been kind of keeping this secret from them for like so long, and I was like going to school and having to change, and it was so taxing on me to have to go to school as me, be happy, and then change, and then feel suppressed. It was crazy on my physical, mental, and emotional life. You know, I was living like a double life. How many of us can really say that? And my family and my parents especially have been really good at being so supportive thus far. So I guess I didn't really have anything to worry about, so to speak, but you just really never know. Because it's not, I mean, it wasn't easy for me, but it must not have been easy for like my family and my parents. They haven't ever had to experience this in their lives, and I think that they were just thinking, oh, she's just gonna grow up and be gay. Oh, just kidding, you thought. Again, I keep tricking y'all, and y'all keep falling for it. But regardless if they understood or not, or if they really understood what was going on, their love for me overshadowed that, and they never really asked questions. My family has made me feel so comfortable and so loved in my skin. So if I can give any kind of advice to any parent, support your kids, love them through whatever it is they're going through, just because it makes such a big difference, more of a difference than I think we give credit for. But as the sun goes down, that's my video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, if you like it, put a thumbs up on it. And if you're not already, click that button down here, she's getting used to it, that says subscribe. You could also turn on notifications to know when I post a new video. And other than that, I will see you guys in my next video. But until then, don't forget to work hard and slay harder. I love you. Bye-bye.